people have just tried to explain it to me as your head's wired different to normal people, but what is technically normal?
Autism is a developmental condition which affects 1 in every 100 people born. People with autism view the world as a strange and often confusing place. They have trouble communicating and interacting in the same way as everyone else. This is Alex. He has a form of autism known as Asperger's syndrome. He has been attending a local youth group specifically designed for children with this condition.
I'm not judged for my hobbies, whereas I am at school. Whereas at school I get picked on and teased because I like doing the little miniature models, but here people just don't get or they understand you.
I think that there's no expectations that if he wants to sit in a corner and play with some Lego or something, that they will let him do it, and all the other boys and girls are just going to let him do it. You know, there's no expectations that he doesn't have to look like the big boy, that, you know, he's nearly 16. He doesn't have to behave like an average 16-year-old, he can behave like him.
Many children with autism attend public schools, but can find it very difficult fitting in.
School actually haven't been very helpful with my Asperger's. They try and pretend it's not there, because I seem normal on the outside. They think, oh, he doesn't really have Asperger's, don't worry about it, don't bother telling anyone. So,
in public schools there tends to be a lack of structure that these children might require. They like to know what's happening, what they're doing and when they're doing it.
For some children, the mainstream environment in schools is too busy, it overstimulates them, and is meaningless from a social point of view.
My God, I hate my science teacher. Such a something I can't say politely on this camera. I really hate him. He doesn't understand that I'm me and I'm different to everyone else, and he goes, oh, he hasn't done all of his homework. I don't do any of my homework for anyone. I haven't done it for the past 6 years, 7 years. He goes, but you'll only get a C if you don't do your homework and revise. I don't really care. C is good enough for me.
Have you ever been bullied at school?
for 15 years or so. But if it bothered me, I would have killed myself when I was about 6.
What sort of bullying? Could you give us an example?
Just 'cause I'm different, I'm weird, I'm tall, I'm fat, I'm pretty damn ugly. Notice how I've got a high esteem of myself.
I think it's lack of awareness of the condition, a natural propensity to focus on people who are different to the norm, and then the inability of some of our people, in fact probably all of our people, to actually advocate for themselves, to defend themselves.
Like any other teenager, Alex enjoys playing computer games online. This has opened up a world of communication with other gamers.
Most people online think I'm normal, just a bit eccentric. Mind you, they really can't talk because they're more mad than I am.
It used to concern me because I didn't know who they were, what they were talking about and things like that. But actually, I know now that it helps him.
So what sort of things do you actually talk about with the guys online?
Mostly it's just random.
I mean, you said you get advice.
Yeah, if either of us have had a bad day, we just talk about it. It seems to work.
You are not generally looking at the person, so they don't have the distraction of the face or all the social rules that are in place when you're actually talking to somebody, and they can think at their own pace and process what they're going to say.
It's one of those things with autism that they don't see. When you make a facial expression, other people automatically pick it up, and I think autistic children don't pick it up, so there's actually all they've got to go on is the words, and they've just got to think about the words. I know with Alex that when he watches films and things, he watches all the stuff that's in the background first, and then he'll watch it a second time and he'll see all the action, and then he'll watch it a third time and he'll listen to the words. So he's got, if he's having a conversation with somebody, he's got to almost do all those 3 things all at the same time, which he finds quite tricky. So when he's online, actually all he's got to do is listen to them.
Don't you think it's a bit weird that you speak to strangers more than you do your own family?
Not anymore. Nah, because it feels like I know them better than I know my own family. So, to me, they don't feel like strangers. But I guess to outsiders like you two, it probably would seem weird. But yeah, it doesn't to me.
Autistic children often feel isolated and misunderstood, which can lead to aggressive behaviour.
As you can see, I've cut all my hair off. I got pissed off. Yeah.
Alex recently got into some trouble with his older sister.
Basically, she's a teenage girl, I'm a teenage boy, and we just didn't get on. And she moved out.
He's always been very angry. He's always had anger management problems, right from being quite tiny, really. But most recently, I don't even know what started it off, but there was a lot of shouting, a lot of throwing, which is what Alex does quite normally.
Now Mum pretty much goes up every night after work to go and visit her, whereas I'm just normally left in my room.
How does that make you feel?
Honestly, I don't really care. It's how it's been, it's how it's gonna be. Nothing I can change about it, so...
Although many autistic people are able to function normally in society, only 15% are able to gain full-time employment.
I think it's probably right, because when Alex started going for work experience, he went for a week, and then we phoned somebody up and said, oh, you do realise he's autistic, don't you? And that was, step back, because obviously you have to do, not only do you have to do your ordinary health and safety and your ordinary whatever it is you're doing, but you then have to look into the Disability Discrimination Act, and I think people are still, it's a big no-no still.
First of all, I think it's pathetically low. I think it represents a huge loss of potential to the country, because our young people are not being guided into appropriate work.
Where would you like to see yourself in 5 years' time?
Hopefully not in a grave. Or in a hospital. I don't know. Go away. In a job.
Although autism has become increasingly recognised, there is still a long way to go for it to be accepted within society.
I think that a lot of people back away from autism or are afraid of autism because they haven't worked with it. It can be hugely rewarding. Some of the things you get out of it are fantastic, but you've got to give yourself that chance. So the one thing I'd say is just come and work with a child with autistic tendencies and just see what you get out of it.
Every child with autism is different, and you just have to get to know them, really, if you're going to work with somebody with autism. But if on the outside, if you're, like if you see somebody in Tesco's having a bit of a fit, just don't judge, don't make judgments, just accept that people are different.
People shouldn't judge people with Asperger's just because of what they have as a mental disability. It doesn't change who we are.